Look at your cat the next time the house goes completely dark. It's midnight. Everything is silent. And then it happens. Your cat suddenly snaps awake. It sits perfectly still, completely alert. Its pupils expand until the entire eye turns into a deep black void. And then it locks in, staring at a corner of the room, or a blank stretch of wall that looks completely empty to you. No movement, no sound, nothing you can see. You follow its gaze. There's nothing there. You wave your hand in front of its face. No reaction. It doesn't blink. It doesn't move. It just stares, completely focused, like it's tracking something you can't perceive at all. In that moment, almost every cat owner feels the same strange discomfort. A small chill runs through you. You glance around the room, and half joking, half serious, you think the same thing people always say online. Okay, what is it seeing right now? Then you laugh it off. Cats see ghosts, you tell yourself. Just another weird animal moment. And you move on. But you shouldn't dismiss it so quickly, because what's happening inside that small, quiet brain in that exact moment has nothing to do with anything supernatural. But it does reveal something far more fascinating. Your cat isn't seeing spirits. It isn't hallucinating. It hasn't lost control of reality. It has simply entered a sensory mode where the world it experiences becomes far richer and far more detailed than the one you can access. Behind those still, unblinking eyes is a brain built for darkness, processing a constant stream of signals that never even reach your awareness. And once you understand what those signals are, you start to realize something uncomfortable. Your cat may not be imagining things at all. It may be seeing the world exactly as it is, just not in a way you were ever designed to perceive. The hard part, the part that remains hidden beneath layers of feline stoicism, is the question you secretly wanted answered all along. When your cat stands guard in the dead of night, staring into the abyss, what is its relationship with the vast invisible world it perceives? And more importantly, when it finally turns its head to look back at you sitting on the couch, what does that look actually mean? To truly understand what that high-strung little predator is doing, we have to start by peeling back the human limitations of our own senses and stepping directly into the architectural marvel of the feline auditory and visual matrix. To find out exactly what this aloof creature is confronting, scientists had to point their most advanced detection equipment directly at the cat's highly specialized ears. And what they found unraveled an invisible universe right inside our own walls. We like to think of our homes as quiet sanctuaries, especially late at night. But to a cat, your quiet home is a loud, buzzing, mechanical landscape. We know this because feline behavioral biologists and veterinary anatomists have mapped the boundaries of the domestic cat's perception, and the data is staggering. Let's talk about human biology first. As a human, your hearing is capped at a modest 20 Hz. That is your ceiling. If a sound vibrates any faster than that, it simply ceases to exist to your brain. A domestic dog pushes that ceiling higher, reaching up to about 45 Hz. But your cat? To make this machinery work, nature gave your cat 32 miniature muscles in each ear. A human has only 6, which are mostly useless. Your cat can rotate each ear independently up to 180 degrees, transforming its head into a pair of highly directional, organic satellite dishes. So, let's replay that midnight scene, but through the ears of your cat. You are sitting on the couch, wrapped in what you perceive as absolute silence, but your cat's ears are twitching. It has just detected the high-frequency friction of water molecules moving through the copper pipes deep behind the drywall. Furthermore, their eyes are amplifying this reality. Cats possess a specialized reflective layer behind their retina called the tapetum lucidum, the biological mirror that makes their eyes glow in the dark. This structure recycles even the faintest photon of light, allowing them to see clearly in near-total darkness. So, when your cat stares at a blank wall, it isn't staring at nothing. It is tracking a highly specific, dynamic physical event. It is watching a sound wave or tracing the path of a microscopic vibration that you are biologically blind to. But this realization raises a much deeper, more troubling question. In the wild, discovering an unknown, invisible presence is the ultimate red flag. Since they can perceive this hidden world full of potential threats, why do most domestic cats choose to stand their ground in the middle of the room instead of running away or hiding under the bed? What are they relying on? Or rather, who are they relying on? To understand why a cat doesn't flee from the invisible chaos it hears, you have to understand the unique, agonizing psychological paradox of being a cat. In the grand tapestry of evolution, most animals occupy a clear position. They are either the hunter or the hunted. A lion is a predator. It behaves with supreme confidence. A deer is prey. This means that a cat's default psychological state is a fragile tightrope walk. Their brains are hardwired with a profound sense of vulnerability. To a cat, an unknown sound behind a wall isn't just an interesting curiosity. It is a potential life or death ambiguity. In a state of pure nature, a solitary cat experiencing that level of sensory overload would immediately retreat to a hidden, defensive burrow to avoid an ambush. The answer was uncovered in a series of landmark feline behavioral studies tracking stress hormones. Researchers measured the levels of cortisol, the primary chemical marker of fear and anxiety, in domestic cats exposed to unfamiliar, stressful stimuli, such as loud, unpredictable noises or strange environments. The data revealed a beautiful anomaly. When a cat was exposed to an ambiguous threat completely alone, its cortisol levels spiked aggressively, triggering frantic hiding behaviors. In psychology, we call this the secure base effect. It is the exact same mechanism observed between human infants and their parents. Your cat dares to stand its ground against the invisible terrors of the night, not because it possesses a fearless heart, but because it feels your physical presence behind it. In its mind, the boundary of its territory isn't defined by the brick and mortar of your house. However, because its senses are wound as tight as a coiled spring during these moments of high-frequency surveillance, its nervous system is operating at absolute capacity. If you, as the owner, make the wrong move right now, you risk accidentally shattering this delicate bond of trust, or worse, triggering a severe, sudden outburst of defensive violence. First, absolutely under no circumstances should you walk up to your cat and forcefully pick it up or surprise hug it to comfort it. In veterinary medicine, there is a dangerous phenomenon known as redirection aggression. When a cat's sensory system is hyper-aroused, its adrenaline pumping, its ears tracking a sound inside the wall, its primal defensive reflex is on a hair trigger. Second, perform a practical, cold-headed audit of the environment if the behavior becomes chronic. If your cat returns to the exact same square inch of drywall night after night, staring with obsessive focus, do not let internet superstitions distract you. Grab a high-powered flashlight and investigate. Cats are highly efficient, organic pest detection systems. Third, if the cat seems genuinely distressed, if its tail is thrashing violently, or its skin is twitching while it stares, do not use physical touch. Instead, use your voice. Step a few paces away, sit down, and speak its name in a low, slow, rhythmic monotone. Once you know how to decode these moments of vigilance, and once you possess the tools to keep them safe, a final, deeper mystery reveals itself. What happens after the alarm is turned off? What happens when the midnight patrol ends? The tension drains from their body, and they curl up at the foot of your bed, purring themselves to sleep. For decades, consumer culture has pushed the narrative that cats are cold, transactional, and fundamentally indifferent to human existence. They tell you that your cat only views you as a glorified, automated food dispenser that opens cans of tuna. But neuroscience has quietly dismantled that myth. Neurobiologists specializing in comparative imaging ran MRI scans on cats, measuring their brain activity when exposed to various environmental stimuli.